Hello students. So almost we have come to the end of chemical kinetics students. Last week, do you remember the topic that we have learned? Okay. If you don't remember, kindly go back to the last video and complete your notes and also start preparing for your second internal exam, because the whole chemical kinetics you will be having for your CIA2 exam. Fine students. So this class we will be learning a new topic, that is theories of reaction rates. Okay, under which the first one is collision theory. Fine students, collision theory we have learnt in the under the topic effect of temperature, that is Arrhenius equation. Okay, this little expanded way of collision theory we will be looking into this class. Okay, so first put the side heading theories of reaction rates. Okay students, theories of reaction rates, under which there are two theories, and the first theory is nothing but collision theory, and which can also be asked like this students, this collision theory only. You might not be asked like explain collision theory or explain the first theory of reaction rate like that. So you might be asked the question in this way, that is derive an expression for the rate constant of bimolecular reactions. You remember bimolecular reactions? For everything students, whatever we are learning, you should know from the beginning, from the introduction part. Then only it will be easy for you while learning the complete unit. Okay. So, derivation of rate constant for bimolecular reactions. The other way of asking collision theory. Okay students, that's why I have given that subtopic also. Okay. Now, so what is generally we have learned few points under collision theory in Arrhenius equation. So we will try to jot down those points again and also few more, and we will see what is the rate expression, what is the expression for rate constant of bimolecular reactions. Okay. So kindly put number 1 and write down the point. Write down the point. A chemical reaction occurs when a chemical reaction occurs when the molecules collide with one another. A chemical reaction can take place when the molecules collide with one another. Collide with one another. Full stop. Okay. Next, second point. Let us consider a reaction between two reactants, capital A and capital B. Let us consider a reaction between two reactants, capital A and capital B. Capital B, and let the number of moles of A and B, and let the number of moles of A and B. Let the number of moles of A and B, small letters A and B. Let the number of moles of A and B per unit volume be small letters A and B. Once again, to avoid your confusion, let us consider a reaction between two reactants A and B, and let small letters A and B be the number of moles per unit volume. That means this A and B, A is the concentration of capital A, small b is the concentration of capital B. Understood students this point? We have taken a reaction in which there are two reactants, capital A and capital B. Concentration of capital A, small letter A, moles per volume, unit volume, and concentration of capital B, B moles per unit volume. Next, point number 3. Point number 3. The number of collisions, brackets, write the letter capital Z. Okay. So, we have seen the first point, For a chemical reaction to take place, the reactant molecules should collide with one another. That means there should be collisions among the molecules. Now the number of collisions, let us assume it to be capital Z. Per unit volume, the number of collisions between capital A and capital B denoted by capital Z per unit volume is directly proportional to concentration of capital A and capital B. That is students, I have written here capital Z proportional to small a into small b. Okay, so we have considered number of collisions between capital A and capital B as capital Z. Now number of collisions per unit volume is directly proportional to concentration of A and B, students. Concentration of A and B, how much we have taken here? We have mentioned. Second point, small a moles per unit volume and small b moles per unit volume. So number of collisions denoted by Z. Now Z is proportional to concentration. So concentration of capital A, small a. Concentration of capital B, small b. Therefore, Z proportional to small a into small b. If you remove the proportionality, take a constant, let it be V. So Z is equal to V into AB, where V is a constant. Okay students, next moving on to the next point, fourth point. So total number of collisions we have considered it to be Z. Now fourth point we have mentioned here. Suppose if each collision, so whatever collisions are there between the reactant molecules, if each collision results in a chemical reaction, right now, if each collision results in a chemical reaction, then the rate constant K is calculated or is obtained by dividing number of collisions, that is Z by concentration. Number of collisions divided by concentration. Okay. So K can be obtained using a formula, that is number of collisions divided by concentration of capital A and capital B, students. Okay, so using this formula, the rate constant K can be calculated. Try to follow carefully. When this is happening, if each collision, so if suppose there are 100 collisions or 50 collisions or 20 collisions, if each collision, and that means if 20 collisions are resulting in the chemical reaction, or if each collision is responsible for a chemical reaction, then in such cases the rate constant can be calculated using a formula, that is in which number of collisions are divided by concentration of the reactants. Therefore, write down the formula. K is equal to capital Z by small a into small b. Once again a question for you students. Capital Z is nothing but number of collisions. Small a into small b, concentration of capital A and capital B. So using this formula we can calculate K when each collision results in a chemical reaction. Okay. Next point. Point number 5. Kinetic theory of gases. Kinetic theory of gases helps us to determine number of collisions between the two reactants at any concentration and temperature. Between two reactants at any concentration and temperature. Okay students, this point you understood. Kinetic theory of gases tells us the number of collisions between the two reactants at any concentration and temperature. Next point students, point number 6. Values of K values of K obtained from the above equation. We have just seen how to calculate rate constant when each collision results in a chemical reaction. Right, students? Suppose if we calculate K using that formula, so what was observed? That is written here. Values of K obtained using the above equation were found to be very high than the experimental values. So, students, here you need to understand a point. K values calculated using the above equation. So, all those values we call them as theoretical values. Just we will substitute in the formula and we will try to get the rate constant. Okay. So, those values calculated from the formula, they were very high when compared to the experimental values. Now, what do we understand from this point? Next point, point number 7. So, this means, write down, this means that each collision doesn't result in a chemical reaction, and only those collisions in which the molecules possess threshold energy, result in a chemical reaction, and such molecules are called as active molecules. Okay, students. So, K formula. So, when can we calculate K using that formula? When each collision is resulting in a chemical reaction. And it was found that the values of K obtained using that equation or that formula are very high when compared to experimental values. Okay. So, from this, what could we infer? Each collision is not, see, if theoretical value is correct, then it should match with the experimental value also. Okay. So, always the experimental value will be correct, ma. So, when theoretical value is matching with the experimental value, then we can say the theoretical value is also correct. But here, experimental value and theoretical value, when we are comparing, theoretical values are very high, experimental values are low. That means theoretical values are wrong. So, theoretical values, when did we get? When each collision is resulting in a chemical reaction. Okay. So, from this we can say that each collision doesn't result in a chemical reaction, and only those reactions or those collisions result in a chemical reaction in which the molecules possess threshold energy. Okay. Threshold energy definition also I have given under effect of temperature. And those molecules which possess threshold energy are called as active molecules. Understood, students? Next point. The difference between threshold energy and internal energy possessed by these molecules. These molecules means what? Active molecules. Okay. Difference between threshold energy and internal energy possessed by the active molecules, we call it as activation energy. Okay. So, under effect of temperature, we have seen activation energy is the minimum amount of energy required to convert an inert molecule or inactive molecule into an active molecule. So, this way also you can define activation energy. Okay. So, the difference between threshold energy and internal energy is called as activation energy. Underline that activation energy, students. Next, on the basis of this activation energy, now you understood what activation energy is. Okay. Now, on the basis of this activation energy, number of activated molecules, and thus the rate constant of the reaction can be calculated. Okay. So, 9th point, on the basis of activation energy. Okay. Now, understood what activation energy, right? Now, on the basis of activation energy, number of active molecules number of active molecules, and thus the rate constant of the reaction. So once we know the number of active molecules, we can find out rate constant of the reaction. Fine, students. So all these are the points which you should write under collision theory when you are asked to derive an expression for the rate constant of bimolecular reactions. Okay, below write down. Now no need of writing in point wise, students. According to kinetic theory of gases, if there are two reactants. Now we are moving on to the derivation part. This is not exactly a derivation like first order, second order, students. It's a very simple, not derivation also. Just from the above step, we will from one step we will be concluding the original step. Okay, right. A and B in a reaction. If there are two reactants, capital A and capital B in a reaction, and small letter n is number of moles of capital A and capital B. Now for A we have taken small n, for B also small n, students. Okay, per unit volume. Then total number of colliding molecules per unit volume per second. So this total we call it as capital Z. That nothing but number of collisions per unit volume per second. That we call it as capital Z, as we have seen in the above points, is given by. Now the formula for Z is given by. Write down this equation, students. Capital Z is equal to square root of 2 pi V sigma square n square. Okay, why n square is taken? Z is equal to square root of 2 pi V sigma square n square. Mark it as equation number 1. Write down, students, where V, small letter V, is the average molecular velocity. Where V is average molecular velocity and sigma is the molecular diameter. Small letter n, we know that it's the concentration of A and B. That's why it is taken as n square. Okay, students, write down below. But this average molecular velocity denoted by V is related to root mean square velocity, that is RMS velocity. But small letter V is related to small letter U, which is called as RMS velocity, students, root mean square velocity, with the following equation, by the following equation. Write down. Small letter V is equal to 0.9213 U. U means RMS velocity. Mark this as equation 2. But root mean square velocity, U is equal to square root of 3 RT by M. Mark it as equation 3, where M is molecular weight and T is temperature, students. Okay. V is related to U by V is equal to 0.9213 U, and U, that is RMS velocity, is given by square root of 3 RT by M. Now what can we do with this U value? Yes, we can use it in the above equation. Write down. V is equal to equation 2. Look at equation 2, ma. V is equal to 0.9213 into U value, that is square root of 3 RT by M. Mark it as equation 4. So what do we do with this V value? We will substitute in equation 1. Write down. Capital Z is equal to, so first write down V value 0.9213 square root of 3 RT by M. What is remaining? Into square root of 2 pi square root of 2 pi sigma square n square. So with this we can calculate the number of collisions per volume per second. That is Z we can get. Okay. So that's what I told you. This is not exactly a derivation. Knowing the formula we can proceed. Fine students. Below write down. According to Maxwell's distribution law of molecular velocities, this also you have gone through in your intermediate level. Law of molecular velocities, number of molecules possessing activation energy, number of molecules which possess activation energy denoted by N dash. N dash. What is N dash, ma? The molecules which possess activation energy containing in a gas containing N moles per unit volume, at a given temperature T is given by. Once again students, according to Maxwell's law of molecular velocities, the number of molecules possessing activation energy denoted by the letter N dash. What is N dash? Number of molecules having activation energy in a gas containing N moles, small n moles per unit volume at a given temperature T is given by below write down. N dash is equal to N dash, number of molecules having activation energy, is equal to N moles of the gas into E exponent to the power minus EA activation energy by RT. Okay. From this what can we calculate? Number of molecules having activation energy. Okay. Now bring this N to left side. N dash by N is equal to E to the power minus EA by RT. Now this N dash by N we can denote it by Q, where Q is fraction of activated molecules. Okay. So now this N dash by N we are denoting with Q. Therefore this Q will be equal to E to the power minus EA by RT. Write down below. Q is equal to E to the power minus EA by RT. So finally, rate constant of a bimolecular reaction, from all this data, rate constant of a bimolecular reaction is given by K is equal to Z into Q. So Z we can use this one, Q we can use E to the power minus EA by RT. Therefore below write down K is equal to Z into small letter E to the power minus EA by RT. Put it in a box. This is the expression for rate constant of a bimolecular reactions. Next, second theory students, put the side heading, transition state theory. This is a short one. Second theory, transition state theory or activated complex theory or absolute reaction rate theory. Why did I give all the three names? Because in your question paper, if I give only transition state theory, if they ask you write about this absolute reaction rate theory, then you will be scratching your head and thinking, ma'am has not given this answer in our notes. Right? Yes. That's why I have given all the three names. You also write all the three names in your notebook and underline. This is a very, very simple theory, students. Look here. Look at this step mark. Reactants, what did I write? Converted into activated complex, and this activated complex converted into products. So what this theory tells us? This theory tells us that reactants are not directly converted into products, but first they are converted into an intermediate stage which is called as transition state or intermediate activated complex, which is of temporary existence. That means it immediately breaks down to give products. Okay, so within one step we can explain this transition state theory. Okay, so write down. According to this theory, reactant molecules do not convert directly into products. Reactant molecules do not convert directly into products, but they are first converted into an intermediate activated complex of high energy. Intermediate activated complex of high energy or transition state of temporary existence. So why are we saying that it is temporary existence? Because its existence is temporary. It doesn't stay for much long. Immediately it converts into or it breaks down to give products. So next sentence. This activated complex breaks down to give products. Next point, rate of decomposition of this intermediate activated complex. Rate of decomposition of this intermediate activated complex determines the rate of the reaction. Okay, so with which speed the transition state is being converted into products, that determines the rate of the entire reaction. Below write down. Reactants convert into, this one note down. Reactants convert into activated complex convert into products. Next, below write down the example. Example, HI plus HI first converts into this transition state, finally breaks down into H2 and I2. Okay, that is the reaction. 2HI gives H2 plus I2. Fine. Below write down. According to this theory, one more definition of activation energy. So, till now we have come across three definitions. Activation energy can be defined as the extra energy which the reactant molecules must acquire. The extra energy that the reactant molecules must acquire to form intermediate activated complex is called as activation energy. The reactants to convert into activated complex, whatever extra energy the reactants require, that we call it as activation energy. Okay, students? Below write down one sentence, students. Under this transition state theory, concluding sentence. Initially, when the reactant molecules come close to one another to form the activated complex, there is decrease in energy, and finally there will be a small rise in energy. Small rise in energy of the products as they move apart after the reaction. Okay, students? So, initially there will be a decrease in energy. Finally, at the time of formation of the products, when they separate after the reaction, there will be a small rise in energy. Okay, students? So, till here is the answer for theories of reaction rates. Draw a line till here, and we have reached almost the last topic of this unit, that is factors influencing rate of reaction. Put the side heading. The last side heading, students, this doesn't come under theories of reaction rates. This is a separate question. Put the side heading, factors influencing rate of reaction, which is a very easy question. Point number 1, the first factor, effect of concentration. First one, effect of concentration. So we all know that according to law of mass action, rate of reactance depends on concentration of the reactants. So the same you write down, students, according to law of mass action, rate of reaction is proportional to concentration of the reactants. So from this we can say that as concentration increases, rate also increases. As concentration increases, rate of reaction also increases. Below write down A plus B gives products. The rate expression dx by dt proportional to concentration of A into concentration of B. Okay. So now as concentration increases, rate also increases. Below write down. But rate of reaction decreases with time. But rate of reaction decreases with time because concentration of the reactants decreases with time. Okay, rate of reaction decreases with time because concentration, as the time passes, concentration will be decreasing. So show two graphical representations. So graph plotted between concentration and time, it's coming down. So therefore when we plot a graph between rate and time, rate also comes down. So this is about the first factor, that is effect of concentration. Second one, effect of light. Second one, effect of light. Underline the side heading. Write down certain reactions occur only when they absorb radiations of certain wavelength. That means these reactions takes place only under the influence of light, students. So do you know what these reactions are called as? They are called as photochemical reactions. Right. So write down certain reactions occur only when they absorb radiations of certain wavelength, and these reactions are called as photochemical reactions. Now, rate of such reactions, that means rate of photochemical reactions, increases with increase in intensity of light absorption. Examples we all know: photosynthesis and also photochemical combination of H2 and Cl2. Next, third factor, effect of temperature. Effect of temperature. So this also we have seen, students, that is under Arrhenius equation. We have seen that rate of reaction increases with increasing temperature, and also a small rise in 10 degrees centigrade temperature will double or triple the rate of reaction. So what happens with this 10 degrees rise in temperature? The inactive molecules, they acquire activation energy, and the number of effective collisions will be increasing. Okay, so ultimately the rate of reaction also increases, which depends on the number of effective collisions. All these points we have learned under effect of temperature Arrhenius equation. So the same you can write here also, students. Rate of reaction increases with increase in temperature. Rate of reaction increases with increase in temperature. Full stop. For every 10 degrees centigrade, rise in temperature, for every 10 degrees centigrade rise in temperature, comma, rate of reaction will be doubled or tripled. Rate of reaction will be doubled or tripled. Full stop. When temperature increases, inactive molecules get activation energy. Inactive molecules acquire activation energy and make effective collisions. Full stop. Hence, rate of reaction also increases. Full stop. Finally, fourth one, effect of pressure. Right now, increasing the pressure on a reaction in which gaseous reactants are involved, increasing the pressure on a reaction involving gaseous reactants increases rate of reaction. Okay, carefully observe. If the reaction involves gaseous reactants, then increase in pressure increases the rate of reaction. Suppose if the reaction involves solids and liquids, then increase in pressure has no effect on rate of reaction. Why? What's the reason? Because solids and liquids are incompressible. Okay, so write down here. Increasing the pressure on a reaction involving solids or liquids has no effect on rate as solids and liquids are incompressible. Okay students, these are the factors influencing rate of reaction. This will be asked as a short answer question. So finally with this we have completed the entire unit. Not I can say this entire lengthy and not that easy, but I think I have made it easy for you. Always I say this because I have confidence on me and also my students. You people can easily understand my way of teaching. Okay, so even though it is completely mathematical based, all derivations, kinetics and all, if you please write it down in your notebook without negligence and read each and every sentence carefully, then you will find it, oh, chemical kinetics is also easy. Okay, so finally we have completed chemical kinetics. Now it is your turn to read, learn and practice, students. Okay, so we'll meet in the next class with a new chapter. Until then, stay safe, take care and bye-bye.